What's going on, everybody? And I hope you had a fantastic weekend. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here. Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ. OBJ's in the rumors, everybody. OBJ's in the rumors. And what a surprise. The New York Football Giants are right in the center of the OBJ rumors that are circling around about where Odell Beckham Jr. might play football for the rest of 2022. Obviously, Odell Beckham Jr., he's coming off a torn ACL that he suffered in the Super Bowl last year when the Rams were playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. He tore his ACL in the beginning of the second half of that game, and Odell Beckham Jr. has pretty much been out the entire summer, fall, and now into the winter because of the fact that Odell Beckham Jr. is taking his time rehabbing that injury. It's his second torn ACL. Remember, he tore his ACL the first time when he was with Cleveland a couple of years ago. And right now, every single team is lining up to see how and what they need to do to bring in a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. We all know how explosive Odell Beckham Jr. can be. The dude is a human highlight reel. He was a human highlight reel when he played with the Giants after he was drafted by the New York Giants at pick number 12 back in 2014. And what this guy did for the New York Giants this entire time when he was part of the team from 2014 all the way until 2018, until Dave Gettleman, our trusty old GM, said those famous words, "We did not sign him to trade him," after the New York Giants after they signed Odell Beckham Jr. to a long-term deal back in the offseason in 2018. And then they promptly traded him right after the 2018 season. In terms of what it's going to take to bring in a guy like Odell, I've heard many rumors out there. Many rumors. Shout out to my guys from the BigBlue crew. Big Pat, Lou, all these guys from the BigBlue crew. There's been some rumors going out there that the Giants might be interested in possibly restructuring the contract of Kenny Golladay in order to free up some money this year to possibly bring in a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. to help out this wide receiver core. Now, obviously, you look at the current wide receiver core for the New York Giants at the moment. Right now, you have a guy like Isaiah Hodgins, who they just brought in, who was a street free agent a couple of days ago, last week. He's 6'4". He's about 215 pounds. Solid prospect. Came out of Oregon State. In 2018, 2019, he was a Biletnikoff Award winner, or semifinalist. He was a semifinalist for the Biletnikoff Award, which is the best wide receiver in the nation. Back-to-back years in 2018, 2019. He was a former fifth-round pick for the Buffalo Bills back in 2020. This dude has height. He has some talent, but let's just not get crazy, Giants fans. This dude is on the street for a reason. This dude has not been signed by a team for a reason. So let's not go crazy and just think that this guy's going to come in and make a difference. Wan'Dale Robinson has had some nice moments here and there. He's got a touchdown that he scored against the Baltimore Ravens, but at the same time, Wan'Dale Robinson is still a rookie trying to make him work his way back into the fold. Kenny Golladay, of course, he's been injured pretty much the entire season. This dude has done next to nothing as a New York Giant since we signed him last year to a $72 million contract. He's pretty much done next to nothing. He's been injured for the past 5 weeks. Kenny Golladay is supposed to come back after the bye week. We'll see what's going to happen. Obviously, we know Sterling Shepard tore his ACL against the Cowboys in Week 3. He's out for the season. He's not making a difference right now. Darius Slayton, who was on the bench the entire time, he has pretty much been a non-factor at the beginning of the season, but then recently when they started to play him, I think Slayton has become the de facto number one receiver on this team and Daniel Jones' number one trusted target. And obviously you have guys like Richie James, Marcus Johnson, David Sills that have come in here and there, made some plays at times, but they've pretty much been relegated to their role ever since. Would a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. help this team? Yes, he would. He would absolutely help this team. He would absolutely help a guy like Daniel Jones at quarterback. This team badly needs help at wide receiver. It's evident as day this team has no talent at wide receiver. But, here's my but on this, my reservation. You're talking about a guy that has come off not one, but 2 ACL injuries. And he's going into his age 30 season. And it's going to take some time for him to ramp himself back up. It's pretty much getting back into NFL shape. To go out there and think that Odell Beckham Jr. is all of a sudden going to be a top wide receiver and going to be the same guy he was in that little time period from 2014 to 2016 and little periods here and there with the Cleveland Browns in 2019 as well as with the Rams in that Super Bowl last year, you're being a little bit too pie in the sky, being a little bit with your head in the clouds. Odell Beckham Jr. I don't think is going to be the same player he was before. Who knows if he's even going to be a number one receiver at this point. But at the same time, Odell Beckham Jr. is definitely going to be a wide receiver that will help this team. And he would easily bring this extra jolt of excitement to the fan base. And that's what it's mainly about too. You want to get your fan base completely energized. And you want to make this fan base believe that this team has a legit shot to go pretty far into the play and make the playoffs and go far. Right now we have a 2.5 game lead in the wild card over the teams below us for that last wild card spot. So right now if the playoffs started, the Giants would be in. But obviously we know the wide receiver position is a weakness. If you bring in a guy like Odell Beckham Jr., it would bring instant excitement, a jolt of energy. It would bring pandemonium in a good way to this Giants fan base. Because the Giants fan base has been egging on wanting Odell Beckham Jr. here. We all know how bad and ugly it ended with Odell Beckham Jr. and the Giants back in 2018. With the words that Dave Gettleman said that we did not sign him to trade him after they signed him to an extension in that offseason. But at the same time, Odell Beckham Jr., he would bring a jolt of energy to this fan base that we have not had in a very long time. Because a lot of fans love 13. They love what Odell Beckham Jr. brought to this organization. The jolt of energy, the sales, ticket sales, whether it was jersey sales, merchandise sales. Odell Beckham Jr. was a pretty much a golden goat when it came to selling merchandise and the excitement that he brought to the fan base. With his pre-game catches that he made, one-handed catches in the end zone, whether it was spectacular catches he made on the field, electric runs. We all know what Odell Beckham Jr. can bring to the field. The problem is, and I hate to squash this a little bit, the problem is, how much money is it going to cost to bring in a guy like Odell Beckham Jr.? Are you going to be willing to sign Odell Beckham Jr. to a multi-year contract? Because I believe that's what he's looking for. He's looking for not just a one-year deal for the rest of this year. Odell probably wants a multi-year deal with whoever he signs with. And is Odell Beckham Jr. going to be willing to put bygones by bygones with what happened with the Giants a few years ago, as well as is the New York Giants a viable team that he believes can make a playoff run if he signs with the Giants? Because you have other teams out there that are interested in Odell Beckham Jr. right now that are in the same position as the Giants, namely our division rival, the Dallas Cowboys. Green Bay Packers were one of the teams. I don't think they're in it now after they lost yesterday. They're 3-6. The Los Angeles Rams have thought about a reunion. I don't think they're in it right now, too. I think because they lost, they're out of it. I've even heard the Kansas City Chiefs rumored to be interested in Odell Beckham Jr. I've even heard the San Francisco 49ers rumored to be interested in Odell Beckham Jr. There's going to be many teams out there that are going to be interested in signing a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. Because of the fact that this dude, many teams believe, still has the electric talent to help put their team over the top, especially in a very mediocre NFC that right now, it's close. I mean, you could say Philadelphia, they're 8-0, Minnesota's 7-1, the Giants are 6-2, Dallas is 6-2, but at the same time, none of these teams are really pulling away from one another. So maybe they look at a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. to put him over the top. So when I think about the whole Odell Beckham Jr. rumors, of course the fan in me, and I was a big fan of Odell Beckham Jr. I got his jersey for a reason because I loved what Odell Beckham Jr. brought to this fan base. But at the same time, Odell Beckham Jr., he also was a guy that got hurt a lot. Fans got to remember, Odell went with the Giants. He got hurt multiple times every single year. So you have to be careful with that. He's a 30-year-old wide receiver coming off his second ACL injury. What are we actually going to get from Odell Beckham Jr.? You have to think about that. But would Odell Beckham Jr. bring an absolute excitement to this team? Yes. Would he bring an upgrade to their wide receiver? Absolutely. Would he actually help make us a better contender going into the playoffs? Yes, of course. Odell Beckham Jr. joining the New York Giants would bring the Giants to a better level in terms of their talent overall. But I just wonder, A, how are we going to make the money work? Because of the fact that we're very cap strapped. I believe we have $2 million or so available under the cap to try to work with. That's why I've heard the rumors about Kenny Golladay potentially restructuring his contract to bring in a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. And at the same time, you got to think about this too. Is Odell Beckham Jr. going to pretty much pick the New York Giants as a team that he thinks can go over the top? He thinks that if you add him to this team in this season, that it's going to put them over the top, as well as can you make the money work, and where is Odell coming back from injury? So when I bring back Odell Beckham Jr., absolutely. Do you think Odell Beckham Jr. is an upgrade for the New York Giants? Absolutely. I just question, though, if Odell Beckham Jr. is A, going to be willing to put bygones by bygones with the New York Giants organization after what happened 4 years ago. B, is he 100% coming back from that second ACL injury? And C, how are you going to make the money work? And is he going to be willing to sign a contract? Is he going to be willing to sign a multi-year deal? And will the Giants be willing to offer him a multi-year deal? Obviously, Odell Beckham Jr. has got a couple of people that he's very close with on the New York Giants. Namely, Sterling Shepard, who he played with back in 2016 and 2018. And, of course, Saquon Barkley, who they teamed together in 2018. And they became very close during that season. You know those two guys specifically are trying really hard to recruit Odell to the New York Giants. So right now, the Odell watch is on. He apparently is cleared. He apparently is ready to go, and it would take about 2 or 3 weeks to clear him. Teams are lining up. The Giants, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Packers, the Rams, the Chiefs. Every one of these teams that are contending teams that could use help at the wide receiver position are lining up right now to try to bring in the former first-round pick from LSU back in 2014. Because they all know how electric Odell can be. And with how this league is right now going, obviously it's even more imperative because the Chiefs struggled to beat the Titans last night. And the Bills lost to the Jets, how mediocre this league is right now. And that if you get a guy like Odell Beckham Jr., and if he's even 70% of what he was in the past, it could put you guys over the top. Would I want Odell Beckham Jr.? Absolutely. He would swallow up targets. He would be a guy that would go out there and he would bring a jolt of energy this New York Giants fan base would love to have. I would love to see Odell come back to New York. I would absolutely be 100% for it. And I've been a detractor at sometimes of Odell with some of the behavior he had in the past. But in terms of his on-the-field talent, Odell is second to none. But I just question right now, is Odell willing to come here for the amount of money that the Giants might be willing to offer, including a multi-year deal? Are there other teams that might look desirable more to Odell? And where is he coming back from his injury? We'll have to wait and see. The Odell watch is on. Teams are out there throwing in their bids. We're going to have to see where Odell is going to sign his contract on the dotted line and where he's going to be playing his football in 2022 for the rest of the season. We'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be a fun damn ride. And I can't wait to see where Odell is going to sign with next. And for me, and for all the other Giants fans on Twitter, YouTube, Bleacher Report, everywhere, Facebook, all the Giants fan base, we all want to see 13 lighting it up once again at MetLifeStadium. We'll just have to wait and see if Odell Beckham Jr. is going to bring his talents back to New York. So that's just my thoughts about the Odell Beckham situation right now, about where we are right now in the Odell Beckham Jr. watch, if the Giants are a team that is in the bidding, what it will take to sign Odell, who else is in the running for Odell, and where Odell is in terms of his rehab coming back from his torn ACL back in the Super Bowl last year. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYG Jeffy T85 for more breaking news, updates, and chatter surrounding the New York Giants. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short that's going to be dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Giants. And let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the Odell Beckham Jr. rumors. And if you really take your Giants hat off and you realistically believe that Odell Beckham Jr. could strongly possibly come back to the New York Giants. So I thank you very much, everybody. I hope you had a fantastic Monday. I hope you had a great weekend overall. Take it easy, and as always, let's go New York Football Giants as a New York Giants Nation. Together blue, everyone.